What's starting? I will go with.
Well, yeah, you'd have to, but
Sorry.
I take the Panthers.
Dwayne Haskins is not. He's just not it.
I take the
Sorry,
Panthers.
buddy.
And then you got, and this is a pivotal game here. Not only for the Colts, it is for the Steelers as well. Because the Colts could play spoiler to Tennessee because if the Colts lose, Tennessee clinches the AFC South.
Yep.
The Steelers win, they clinch the AFC North. So it's pivotal as far as that goes. It's also pivotal because last week should have been the get-right game for the Steelers, and they blew it.
Yep.
This is the game where, even though the Colts' defense is good, they've allowed a lot of rushing yards to any running back. And I'm sorry, if Connor's healthy for this game, I'm not. And you know, I've always said I've had faith in Connor. I start the game with Snell, and then on third and manageable is when I bring Connor in to just barrel down.
Yep.
That's what I do.
Or if you're Randy Fichtner, just drop him down the field.
Yeah, well, Fichtner's an ass. Please, Todd Haley, please come back. I beg of you.
These last two games, just let Ben do his fucking thing, please.
I think a part of it is that they have, and Ben just hasn't executed. So for all those haters that say I'm not an educated fan or an educated Steeler fan, I watched the game all the way to the end, and I know what they've produced. Nothing. The defense hasn't really played that great as far as the secondary. Even though T.J. Watt took over the sack lead again, but still, it's got to be more than just the defense. You can't trot the defense out there 80 times. You got to keep the defense, especially now that we're injury ridden in a lot of areas. Tua didn't practice; he had a back injury.
You got to move the fucking chains, man.
Bottom line is this: on 31, and we're throwing a 15-yard pass down the field. Listen,
just to catch pass the interference
just
ball.
Quarterback sneaker have been there, but the offensive line really hasn't been playing that great either. To the fact that I'm wondering how David DeCastro even got on the Pro Bowl.
Speaking of, man, I don't know how Evan Ingram made the Pro Bowl, even though I'm a Giant fan.
But
he fucking had more drops than catches this year.
But you know what? Again, though, I don't ever pick against my team, so I'm taking the Steelers to cover in this one. It's 2.5. You need a field goal to win it, and I think that's what it comes down to.
You know what? I'm probably gonna do the same shit.
Well, you did.
I know I am. I'm looking. I'm looking, man. It's fucking far away. I ain't shit. I'm getting old.
And then we got the Chiefs and the Falcons. Listen, you want to talk about a game that says fuck this, I'm out, don't even bother watching it?
That game.
Chiefs.
Okay. All right.
Chiefs. I don't care what anybody says.
What happened last week? I think last week was kind of like a remix of the 2016 Super Bowl. When the Falcons were what, 20-something-3?
They were up big.
And Brady came back and beat them again.
Well, there was the questionable first down call at the end, where it looks like the ref gives them an extra yard to give them the first down to pretty much lock the game up. And again, we could rip officiating till we could rip it from now until whenever.
But bottom line is this:
these games don't end in the third quarter. And that's the way the Falcons... Listen, if games end in the third quarter, the Falcons would be undefeated.
Yep.
They would be undefeated.
There's 60 minutes of football. You got to play 60 minutes of football.
But they don't end in the third quarter. And somewhere along the line, Atlanta just lets off the gas pedal instead of keeping their foot on the pedal. I don't care if you're up 45-0. Keep jamming it down their throats.
Exactly.
Keep scoring. That's the point. Because you could blow a lead at any time. And the Falcons would be the only team who could be up 75-0 with 3 seconds left in the fourth quarter and blow that lead. All right, it's just abysmal.
I still can't forget that Super Bowl, man. I was so upset, bro. I was so happy that the Falcons were about to win that shit, and they blew it.
But again, the NFL wants to see Brady win. They don't want to see Matt Ryan win.
Shit, give it
is what it is. But listen,
hey, he's a free agent this year, I think too.
You got to take the Chiefs at 10.5.
Yeah.
Then you got Chicago and Jacksonville. 7.5 spread. Mac is hurt. So is Anthony Miller, and I still think the Bears cover.
Yeah, but I think Mac's still playing, though.
Well, yeah, cortisone shot if it don't get it stuck in his lung.
I'm definitely taking the Bears.
And then you got this game. For the life of me, the Bengals and the Texans.
What kind of spread is that?
9. The Bengals are getting 9?
I'm taking them.
That should be a big goose egg. That should be a pick'em game.
I'm taking the Bengals on that one, bro.
Who thought of that?
They did. That's Vegas for you, buddy. That's Vegas for you, buddy.
What kind of chronic they got in Vegas? Because I want some.
I want some too. Shit, but I'm taking the Bengals on that one, buddy. Sorry.
Unless it's laced with ecstasy and coke. Shit.
I'm taking Bengals on that one, bro.
I gotta go with Deshaun here.
Go ahead, go for it.
I gotta go with Deshaun Watson.
They gotta win by 10. Go for
I
it.
gotta do it. Hey, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Houston will play like the 11-2 team, unlike the Steelers against the Bengals, where the Bengals played like they just wanted it more.
Houston has played like shit all season long.
Talk about a team that needs a rebuild. Bill O'Brien literally destroyed that team since he walked
when
in
he
the door.
traded D-Hop, when I seen that shit on TV, I was like,
Oh, that's the Christmas gift that keeps on giving the Cardinals.
I scratched
fans,
my
too.
head and I was like, this has got to be fake. It was like the Odell Beckham Jr. trade. I'm like, this is fake news. When you told me about that shit, I started crying my eyes out when I found it was true.
Yeah.
I was like, how are you gonna give this guy $100+ million contract and then fire his ass on a plan? What the? I mean, to Cleveland?
Hey, it's where all good careers go to die.
Guess what? That
And
Christmas
it did, because Beckham's career in Cleveland it's not even on flatline. It's like on a DNR, do not resuscitate. Just pull the plug. It's done. Cleveland's just gonna listen. They're just gonna release him because Beckham only holds value right now in name recognition, not on anything he's done on the field. And it's not to shit on him in any way, shape, or form, but he holds no value of what you're gonna get for him. So.
Because of what he did in Cleveland. Now,
well, exactly. So, now, where Beckham would really boost up a team, and even though I love to see him in Pittsburgh, and Giants fans will love to see him back in New York, but you're not going to see that with Gettleman there.
That's why he's
because I think, honestly, if you put him back in New York with Daniel Jones, and you have Slayton, and Ingram, and Shepard, that becomes a dangerous like trifecta of wide receivers right there. Okay, but it's not going to happen. I hate to say it, it's not going to happen. Where he thrives the most, he would thrive the most, honestly,
San Francisco.
They're one, and I gotta say it. If he went to Vegas, with Waller and Jacobs and Ruggs, just think about that, and with a quarterback who could win games and not pull their groin running, and then holding it like their tampon slipped out of their vag. Okay, think about that. Think about him in. I would literally go and buy a Beckham Vegas Raider jersey, just for the pure fact that I'd be walking down the streets like I'm the white Ice Cube with a Vegas Raider hat on, and a Raider jersey on. Because listen, Odell Beckham he's a good wide receiver, but again, Gettleman really screwed the poop. If you were going to trade him, you got literally the Browns fleeced you.
We got a bag of chips
because you literally got golf balls, used tennis balls, used jock straps for a first round draft pick. And Beckham.
I don't want to talk about it.
But and then speaking of that, that goes to this game, and I'm gonna live dangerously on this one here. I'm going to live dangerously on this one because it's the Giants and the Ravens. And you're all going to sit there and think I'm nuts. Why wouldn't you take the Ravens with this spread? And this is why I'm not taking the Ravens with 11.5 point spread. I'm not doing it for this fact.
The Giants' defense is
good. Is a pretty decent defense. Are they going to stop Lamar all game? No. Nobody is going to stop Lamar all game.
You got to force to the sideline.
But
I noticed that.
Here's the thing. 11.5 point spread. And even with Colt McCoy starting at quarterback, because let's put out there, Colt McCoy's going to start. I don't care, even if Daniel Jones starts.
I do give it to Colt McCoy though, like him being like a veteran and has all the experience in the league. He's pretty good at going audibles.
Well, yeah, he's had enough time to watch from the bench.
Well, yeah, plus all the fucking teams played on anyway.
Yeah, but I got to go with the Giants here. I gotta do it because the Giants is still playing for something, even though it's a slim chance. And if I gotta watch the Steve Kornacki guy in his corduroy pants doing all the friggin' things, the percentages, I'm gonna friggin' drive to the NBC studio and kick him in his face. I can't stand the guy. Oh well, if they do this and then nobody wants to hear it. Bottom line is this: we all know. We're all educated football fans. We already know if the Giants win these two games, and the Redskins lose these two games, and the Cowboys lose these games, and the Eagles do this,
the Redskins only have to lose
the Giants hop, skip, and jump everybody. Then we already know that. I don't need this 10%. blah 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 blah.
To be honest with you, I don't even want to make the playoffs, man. I'd rather have the better draft pick because we're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
You do, but
we're not going anywhere.
But now let's say this stuff. Let's say the Giants get in.
And we lose, okay.
No. And let's say they do the impossible. And let's say they get to the NFC Championship game. Does this, let's say, does this make Giants fans believe now that Daniel Jones could be the replacement to Eli? I think he honestly can be.
No,
But you have to draft an offensive line. Not somebody who's going to just let guys blow past them or hold them for an hour and a half like they're on a friggin' date or they're at the friggin' sock hop back in high school.
And then the times where you should hold them, you don't, and there goes the fumbling. I'd rather take 10 yards, buddy, Mr. Andrews.
But I got to take the Giants in that one there. I got to do it. Which leads to the next New York team. See, I don't get this. Why are we calling the New York Jets and New York Giants when they don't play in New York? They play in dirty jerseys.
Alright, shut the fuck up, please.
I'm just saying. I get that at one point they played at Chase Stadium and blah, blah, whatever. But you know what? That was back when... that was back in like my dad's era when everybody was popping
New Jersey Giants.
Shrooms.
What the fuck?
Well, then move to New York then. All right,
It's
literally a hop, skip, and a there was back in the day, but when the Jets wanted the stadium on the South Side, but all these politicians. Oh no, we can't do that.
It kind of sucks that we got to share a stadium with these people. Whatever.
But then you got the Browns and the Jets.
What's the spread on this one?
9.5 the Jets are getting, and. Listen, Jets fans, I'm going to be dangerous here.
I'm going with Cleveland.
I'm going to be dangerous here. Cleveland will win the game, but the Jets will.
They had no Quentin Williams either. He was the main reason.
Yeah, they
got
don't.
Jared Goff.
They don't, but don't be surprised though if the Jets can keep the Browns. Leveled for
because that one man on the offensive line, what's his name, Mekhi Becton, who was on the draft board before Andrew Thomas. He's pretty good.
See, now
you missed him, Mr. Gullivan. You missed him. You passed him up, buddy.
There's two games on here that I think should be flexed, and we'll get to them in a minute. But now you got the Chargers and the Broncos, who are literally playing for nothing here. Listen, take the Chargers. I was going to say, there really not much to talk about. Herbert's just going to outduel Drew Lock here. Even though Keenan Allen is questionable, Henry just hit the COVID list. But still, I got to take the Chargers there. Then you got the Rams and the Seahawks. This is a must-win for both. And this is one of the games that either A, should have been flexed to the Sunday night game or the Monday night game.
The Rams won the first game against the Seahawks.
And listen, they're playing in Seattle. I get that. But listen, you don't have the 12th man and the fans there. And I still think Seattle pulls this one out. And it's only by 2. So I think Seattle wins it by 3.
Well, the Seattle defense, they have gotten better the past few weeks. I'm not even going to
Yeah, because Jamal Adams finally decided to play.
Jamal Adams leads the league in sacks for all DBs.
Yeah,
he's got like 9.
Yeah, and Jets management's got to be kicking themselves in the balls for that one, but whatever. But I got to take Seattle there.
Yep.
And then this is another one that I think should have been flexed either Sunday night or Monday night.
Dallas
and the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Jalen
Hurts is gonna just run all over.
It's a no-brainer. You gotta go Eagles. It's a one, but it's another one. Should have been a pick'em, really. And see, this is what's fun. You have 2 trash bag teams in Houston and Cincinnati playing for nothing, other than spoiler to other teams, right?
But look at that spread.
And then you got 1.5 for the Eagles and the Cowboys.
And you got 9 for the Houston.
What's going on in Vegas? Listen, Philly, Jalen Hurts running all over that defense. And by the way, Cowboys are probably moving on from Zeke at the end of the year. Yeah. And if I'm the Jets, listen to me carefully. Trade the 2nd pick and get you some Zeke Elliott. But also get an offensive line because if you don't get an offensive line and you get Zeke Elliott, you'll just have another Le'Veon prop on your hands, and then Gase will be asked if that was irrelevant, and or did you misuse him? And Adam Gase again, that was irrelevant. Whatever, Adam Gase, get your head up your fucking ass. And then you got Green Bay and Tennessee.
This is an interesting one. But they're playing in Green Bay, and it's
only 3.5.
It's cold.
Yeah, but it's also cold in Tennessee. But
it ain't that fucking really.
But can Green Bay's defense stop Derrick Henry? Look at the way he's been trucking people. He's literally become the internet sensation with all the memes that they do with him. They literally make the football players that small, like little micro machines, and there's just Derrick Henry going.
Can the Tennessee defense stop Adam Lillard and you got Devontae Adams?
Don't be
Aaron
surprised.
Jones.
Don't be surprised. But again,
I'm going Green Bay. Sorry.
you gotta go
They're
Green
at
Bay
home.
here.
They're in Lambeau. They're winning.
And I think Green Bay, unlike any other spread where you pick them and they don't cover the spread and you're kicking yourself in the ass for it every week, I think they cover this one. I think they cover it. And in this one,
which one's this one?
this game should have just been flexed to Sunday in the afternoon.
God, Buffalo
and New England. This is just like, even though Josh Allen's hurt